Sex is something that a lot of people question, that a lot of people have a hard time discussing. Although sex is universal, even though it's universal, everyone has a different opinion about sex, a different way of seeing what sex is. So why are people so afraid to be sex positive if sex is something that's so natural?
It depends on if you want to get technical about it or not. I mean, sex itself is just kind of an intimate act between individuals, typically involving genitalia in some way, shape, or form. But some people would argue that it has to be that intimate act along with having certain emotions involved for it to be considered sex.
Two people feel they love each other and they have feelings based off of that.
I feel like sex is like just when you share something special with another person, like something that you can't really explain with words, you know what I mean?
I think sex is an intimacy you have with another partner in which you make love with one another.
Sex is something that's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing that everybody does, even animals. Sex can be the downfall, or it could be the come up for a relationship or a friendship.
I think it's fun. I don't really think of it as like a mental thing or like emotional or anything as far as like spiritual. That's a little bit too in depth for it to be.
I believe there's a spectrum of sex, and I believe there's a spectrum of love. And I think sex is a connection, and however you want to prolong that connection of being intimate.
Basically a transfer of each other's liquids, mind, body, and soul.
Sex is becoming vulnerable with someone else, enough to gain a stronger connection with them.
Sex should be a natural feeling between the person you're doing it with. Everything should just be natural.
I mean, reproduction in like its rawest form.
Anything involving genital stimulation.
I think sex is two people coming together and making love and just becoming one from love.
Sex is a spiritual connection that should be had with two people who truly care about each other.
I don't know what sex is for real.
A lot of times as parents, we tend to shield our children from the truth because we're afraid of them growing up. And if we shield them from the truth about sex, it leads them to figure it out on their own, causing them to lose their virginity early because they don't even fully understand what sex is, which eventually leads them to have a sex life that they grow to not even enjoy.
I lost my virginity at the age of 15. My first time having sex was very awkward and brand new.
I was 19 when I lost my virginity. I did not enjoy my first time. It was awkward, but we grew up together. Like, I known him since I was like 4, so it wasn't that bad, but it was pretty awkward.
I lost my virginity at 16. It was cool.
I lost my virginity at 16. Yes and no. More so no, because of like where it was and how it happened.
I was 16 or 17. I enjoyed my first time.
12. She kind of smelled like I had sex with her like doggy style. I don't really want to count that one, unfortunately. It was kind of a weird experience due to older issues.
I lost my virginity when I was 18. I did not enjoy my first time at all.
I lost my virginity when I was 15. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't hate it either, but it was more so my hormones were raging and I was just like, oh, I want to have sex. Afterwards, I didn't feel any different. I just was like, oh, I guess I'm not a virgin anymore.
I was 16. Did you No.
I lost my virginity at 15. I did enjoy my first time.
Like 19. I mean, yeah.
At 17 years old, a junior year of high school. And it wasn't all that great. I mean, it was cool, but it was just hyped up at that moment, so I expected way more out of it.
My first time was a weird time. I was nervous but excited when I was 17.
I was molested when I was 12 years old. And so that I try not to make that count as the first time because that really wasn't my choice. But the first time I lost my virginity when it was my choice and my decision, I was 16 years old. No, I did not enjoy my first time because my hormones were going crazy. I'm 16, boom, 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 trying to figure out what I want. Cute guy, not the type of guy that I should have been dealing with.
I lost my virginity when I was 14, and I hated it because it was assault. It was not my choice.
I lost my virginity at 15. I did enjoy my first time.
8th grade year. Yes.
Lost my virginity when I was 18. Sadly. I kinda did and I kinda didn't.
Sex is one of the most partaken in activities. People have sex 2 to 3 times a week and think about it frequently on a daily basis.
I don't know how many times I've had sex since then, but I've had 22 partners.
4 sexual partners. And now that one of those sexual partners was more than 10. There it is. It was more than 10 with that one sexual partner.
Okay. I don't know. I had sex more than 100 times. I don't know. I have had 10 sexual partners.
I don't know how many times I had sex. I had 3 sexual partners.
It was 5 different people, so yeah. Oh wait, how many times have I had sex? Okay, I can't count that. How many? I probably say maybe 50 times.
I don't know because I have sex whenever I'm in a relationship, and I've been in about like 4 serious relationships.
Hundreds and hundreds of times. I have lost count. I have had 2 sexual partners.
I'd say about 10. 5.
I'm honestly not sure how many times. I've only ever had 1 sexual partner.
I have had sex 1 time only. I have had 1 sexual partner.
Times I've had sex is way more than 9, but it's been 9 people.
I cannot answer that question because I don't know. Oh, 15.
I've had 2 sexual partners.
I've had 11 sexual partners.
Say about, I wouldn't say 1,000, maybe like 700. I don't know. I don't keep track. That's an irrelevant number for me.
Many things carry on from generation to generation, but is it better or worse if we carry on the same beliefs without actually questioning them?
I think that my experience with sex and my belief on it is way different than my parents because they got married when they were 18, so I think that they only really had sex with each other.
My parents believe about sex that you should have sex when you are married and that you should wait for the right person in your life. I do not share the same beliefs about sex as my parents at all.
I don't know. My mom's a prude.
They think sex is just only for marriage and that it's really where you share a covenant with a person instead of just something.
My dad never really had a sex talk with me, and my mom didn't have it either. It was more of a one day you're going to lose your virginity. And that's how it was. I would say yes, because my parents just want me to have safe sex, and that's all it is. Just making sure I'm always getting checked, safe sex, and know who my partner is.
That sex is something that should be done between a married couple. As long as I can remember, I wanted to hold those values near and dear to me, but things went a different direction in my life, so I do not still currently have my virginity, but I plan on still holding those values of wanting, that experience to be special and not just giving it to anybody.
They believe that you shouldn't have sex until you were married, and that it has to be a feeling between the 2 people, that it has to actually be feelings based off of it before you complete any actions instead of just having sex. Me personally, no. I never really thought that you had to be married, in order to have sex, but they have more of a religious view.
They believe that you should know what you're doing. You should know who you're doing it with. It shouldn't just be, oh, I'm about to just do this with this person. You don't know who the person is. You don't know anything about the person. You should get to know the person, make sure they're okay with it, make sure everything's just natural. Yes, I do. Like, everything should just be, you should know what you're doing. You should know how to do it. You should know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and how that other person feels about it.
I don't know what my parents believed about sex. We're going to talk about it.
I don't think I've ever spoken to my parents about sex.
I would say sex. Yes. I encourage everyone.
My parents do believe in having sex only after marriage, even though both of them have had premarital sex. It's honestly hard to explain my belief on it, because, if somebody would rather wait until marriage, that is their choice. Same as if they don't want to wait until marriage, it's also their choice.
My parents never really talked to me about sex. It was kind of something I learned on my own. And I learned from the internet, from porn, friends. And really the most my parents told me about sex was, oh, well, don't do it or else you're going to hell. No, I don't carry the same beliefs about sex as my parents at all. I more so believe that you should be free to do what you want with sex as long as it's consensual.
They said that shacking was a bad thing. Shacking is an old school term that parents use where, you're living with someone, y'all being intimate, but y'all aren't married. Basically, that's called shacking. So I think that personally that you have to live with somebody just to see how they live, just to see if they're clean, just to see if y'all coincide, they pay their bills, they're responsible, period. So me and my parents don't have the same beliefs. I believe that you should teach your children about sex, because kids are gonna do what they want to do behind their back, and if they're just being told, oh, don't have sex because this is bad, boom, 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 but you're not explaining the necessary precautions that your children need to take, as in use protection. Okay, you guys need to get tested beforehand, because you could be losing your virginity to somebody who has a whole bunch of STDs. So it's just like that's something that parents need to teach their children.
Why do something if you're not even happy with it? Especially if it's something you partake in frequently. If you do it often, wouldn't you want to enjoy it? And wouldn't you want everyone else to enjoy it too?
My sex life is very bland, but I'm happy with it.
I can say I'm happy with my sex life.
I don't know. I don't have sex, so I don't be having sex no more, so.
Decently happy, I guess. I guess it could be better, but it's not bad.
I am very happy with my sex life.
Sex life, I'm very happy. I'm single and I'm out here.
My sex life is kind of mediocre. I don't really have a good one. I don't really have a bad one. It's just,
Yeah, I'm happy with my sex life. I guess I could be having more, but I'm not like that or that type of person. But I could be having more, but I haven't had sex in about maybe a month or two. I'm still fine with that because I'm still living life.
Right now, I'm really happy with my sex life. I'm not so happy about stuff that's happened in the past, but I've realized that, and it's getting better.
I am happy with my sex life.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. I don't have anything bad to say about it.
That's a big, big no, because the person I want to be doesn't want to me because I'm in the friend zone. But, it'd be like that, so.
Sorry.
Not at all. I'm very sexually bored at this point in my life. Very sexually bored. Things just don't interest me as much because I'm not doing the things that I truly want to tap into and the things that I desire.
Yeah. I'm very happy with my sex life. Very happy. But I know that I could have done things differently if I wouldn't have felt like it was wrong for me to feel how I feel. trying to go to my parents and they just shut it down and like, I need to pray and that's a sin and all this, but it's just like they're not telling me real world stuff, So, yeah, that's about it.
Even though everyone had different views and different experiences with sex, they all still had sex. If you partake in it, if you don't partake in it, it's clearly proven that the majority of people do it, and why not be positive about something that the majority does, especially when it's human nature. So next time you see somebody being sex negative, try to counteract that with sex positivity.
I like that sound. But make sure it's from the start. Sure. Now that's love.